to Futility Rankings Week 6. Adam, how are you today?
Oh, I'm well, better than the teams on this list. As a Bears fan, I'm feeling pretty futile. Luckily, they didn't make the bottom five, but oh my gosh, the sky is falling, Joe. Meanwhile, looking good for your Buffalo Bills.
I'm feeling pretty good, but it is the Bills. So let's go in and start with the honorable mentions today. First off, the Dolphins. Reason they aren't on the list this week because they had the bye. So lucky for the Dolphins. I'm sure they'll be on here next week. And the
No
other
doubt.
honorable mention, of course, is the Pittsburgh Steelers decimated by injury. My question to you, Adam, without the injuries at the quarterback position, do you think the Steelers are where they are right now, or are they just kind of around a 500 team, above 500 team? Where are the Steelers if they didn't get decimated by injuries at the quarterback position?
Well, that defense is still good, and James Conner is still good, so I think that's probably enough to keep them at average. But
Yeah.
the jig is finally up. The Steelers are finally, after it seems like Ben Roethlisberger's entire career, he's had the luxury of a deep receiving core, and that's just not the case this year. And Mason Rudolph got taken off the field. It looked like something straight out of Space Jam. I mean, they had to take the
Yeah.
face mask off and everything, down to their third string quarterback after already trading away their third string quarterback. So, yeah, it would definitely be better because it can't be much worse. But still, I think we kind of found out that this team's just not that good. It's a bad offense with a really good defense.
We'll see what happens. Rumor has it today the Redskins are interested in Mike Tomlin as their head coach. We'll see what happens the rest of the season. So let's go on to the futility rankings. Coming in at number 5 after getting the win on Sunday, the Denver Broncos. What did you think of the Broncos on Sunday, Adam?
First of all, congrats on the win, Broncos. I think Philip Lindsay and the defense are good. They are still obviously having a hard time scoring, but I don't think their record is as bad as, or their record looks worse than it is. They played some really good teams: the Packers, the Jaguars, the Chargers, and the Raiders and the Bears are 3-2 as well. But I mean, you have these wins if you can just execute down the stretch. I feel like Joe Flacco just runs around and then he throws the ball at the ground, so it's not good in Denver.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Breaking an 8-game losing streak going back to last season. So you don't get off our list. I agree with you that I think they could have a better record, but when you break an 8-game losing streak, you're still on the list. A possible candidate to get off the list next week, but they come in at number 5 this week. So let's go on to number 4, the Atlanta Falcons on the list. This Falcons team is so frustrating. I feel like we talk about it every week,
Yeah.
but I just can't get over how bad they are.
Yeah, -5 turnover margin. The next team on the list is also that bad, but the Falcons, Devonta Freeman got hurt and it's never really been the same. They're 28th in rushing. They're allowing 30 points per game. And frankly, Will Fuller looked like Jerry Rice on Sunday against them. And Will Fuller's pretty good, but he's not 3 touchdowns and 200 and whatever yards good against just an atrocious Falcons secondary.
It's time to strip it down there in Atlanta, fire Dan Quinn, and start over. So let's go on to number 3. Do you want to introduce number 3 there, Adam?
Oh, the Bengal Cats. And yeah, I'm pretty much talking about house cats because that's what they've looked like so far. They're allowing 167 rushing yards per game, 411 total yards in the game. The team who shall not be mentioned this week is the only one worse there. And they're only putting up 16 points a game themselves. I mean, they can't run the ball. I think a lot of people, especially fantasy owners, expect more from Mixon, and that's not happening. That -5 turnover margin is still an eyesore.
Well, you bring in Zach Taylor there, this offensive guru, which he still might be, but there's nothing on that offensive side that really comes off the page at you. It is a disaster there in Cincinnati right now. Under Marvin Lewis, he always just kept things even keeled, even if they would win games, even when they had bad teams. It's just a mess there in Cincinnati right now, and I don't see it getting any better throughout the season.
And losing John Ross really hurts. I mean, Andy Dalton's still Andy Dalton. He's serviceable, but the Bengals have been stuck in a very bad place for a very long time.
Andy Dalton, a really good backup quarterback, is kind of where he is at his career right now. So let's go on to number 2. The New York Jets got demolished on Sunday by the Philadelphia Eagles. It's just not getting any better coming off the bye. It was all Eagles on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the Jets' defense isn't atrocious, but their offense is so bad that it doesn't matter. They still only have 1 passing touchdown. They're averaging less than 10 points a game. And Le'Veon Bell just got all that money. Well, he's averaging a career low 2.9 yards per carry. He's only scored 1 touchdown, and that was their only receiving touchdown. And they've allowed the most sacks at 23. Now, luckily for the Jets, if they want to move up a little bit, Sam Darnold does look like he comes back from the influenza or whatever it was, mononucleosis. So hopefully they get their nucleus back of that offense, because right now it's pretty stagnant.
Absolutely. That's their only hope. Sam Darnold coming back. I'm very intrigued to see what happens next Sunday. And finally, first on the list, how can it not be this team? The Washington Redskins, who fired their coach on Monday. What a mess.
More like the Dreadskins, am I right?
There you go. Very nice. Very nice.
That was bad. That was really bad. That was futile.
But Jay Gruden out of a job. They're a mess. They don't have good quarter. They don't have good anything. There's nothing right happening in Washington.
Yeah, they're first in turnovers. An interesting stat here, the team's also on this number with them, 11 giveaways, and they're tied for most in the NFL with the Bills, the Rams, and the Giants. Interesting to see the Rams, the Bills, who are looking like good teams so far, but nonetheless, the Redskins have given the ball away 11 times, and Callahan, the new coach, says he envisions a run team, but they're one of 6 teams that are yet to hit the 400-yard rushing mark on the season. And who's your lead back? Adrian Peterson. He's 34 years old, only 2.7 yards per carry, and this is what you choose to double down on? I don't think it's going to get any better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they go from here after Jay Gruden. They've tried the successful head coach in another place. They've had Mike Shanahan. They've had Joe Gibbs, who's royalty for the Redskins. They've tried the new guy. Nothing seems to work, whatever coach they hire. So God bless whoever's going to take the coaching job for the Redskins for the remainder of the season and then on to next season. Yikes.
Yeah, just a horrible, horrible situation right now. I think their only glimmer of hope is Dwayne Haskins and Scary Terry somehow creating their Ohio State magic again. That's really all they have going for them, because it's atrocious. There's no direction. And I think they've kind of established just a horrible reputation in the league and a place people aren't going to want to go anymore.
Absolutely not. It's just a mess. There's no other way to describe it. If they do get Mike Tomlin, though, somehow, some way, a glimmer of hope there, but I don't believe that actually is going to take place. So anything else before we wrap it up here, Adam?
Hopefully the Bears offense stops being so bad. Otherwise, we're going to see him on here sooner or later.
I don't think that's going to happen, so we'll see what happens. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.